This is part 3 of my series. The labor market used to help you get hired. Now it makes more when you don't. Please note this blog is being read by economists from Harvard and Berkeley and economists from the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and whatnot like that. I would love if other people could stop by to justify it. I'm trying to earn investment to help address this waking nightmare in the labor market. Starting slightly previous to where I left for continuity's sake. Job seekers were stakeholders in the old system. The newspaper lost money if it misled them. But when job seekers' silence shifted from a comfort employers assumed to an entitlement that the entire market designed for, all the unofficial safeguards were lost. And when no one rebuilt the trust layer, platforms began operating in a vacuum. What replaced accountability? SEO spam, algorithmic sorting, engagement without outcome. Job seekers waste time, employers waste money, platforms profit either way. It's the world's biggest, magic claw machine. Even if the job seekers still had a whisper network, they couldn't use it. The new actors don't show their faces. We don't just have employer, newspaper, job seeker. Now we have job seekers, job platforms, LinkedIn, the social media platform where you perform the right attitude around job hunting, sub-job platforms, recruiters, sub-recruiters, CRM systems, ATS systems, and then maybe the initial HR rep. And that's just the official actors. For the unofficial ones, you can check out another blog post I have on that particular blog. The blog is the Job Applicant Perspective. Each one of these adds distance, erodes visibility, and you no longer know who's seeing you, who's ignoring you, and whether or not a real job exists at all. In the newspaper era, job seekers were customers too. Classified ads were a major revenue stream worth nearly $20 billion a year in the US at their peak in the early 2000s. According to The Atlantic, newspaper lost money if they deceived readers because trust and readership were linked. Whether you were a user of the paper or a buyer of the paper, their end game required everyone had access to only accurate information. Today, the platforms that gatekeep access to jobs, job boards, ATS systems, recruiting AI, make up a $40 to $60 billion global industry. If you include staffing and search firms, total global recruitment sector exceeds $600 billion. It gets worse than that depending on how you split it. These numbers come from SNS Insider, SkyQuest 2024, and WorkWell Global. But unlike newspapers, today's platforms openly only serve one side, employers. They leaned into the idea that since job seekers were a user, not a buyer, they didn't require customer support, training, or transparency. Platforms expected plumbers, heart surgeons, engineers, and IT specialists to act as fully trained HR professionals, but gave them none of the tools. And that shift created a silent crisis. Platforms are only accountable to their buyer, not their user, and this means they can be fed misleading, stale, or entirely fake listings with no penalty because job seekers never got a feedback loop. Employers never learned what was broken. The platforms had no reason to care. Follow-up hot take: when you design a labor market with no capacity to take user feedback to adapt to meet user needs, you don't have users. You have unpaid human revenue generators, and that's a fact. Part 4 coming next. I apologize for nothing. I'm furious about this.